Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've posted a link to the story in the description below. Feel free to check that out. So, we're going to be looking at the first volume of Sin City, The Hard Goodbye. Now, I'm going to be using the fourth edition of this. I actually have the first edition of this thing in trade paperback. I have the original stories as well. Um, Frank Miller is a big inspiration to things I do. And despite that video that some people think I'm crapping all over him, I'm just saying his new style is a little bit not to my liking. And this cover, of course, with the fourth edition, is this cover is based on his new style, which actually this cover itself isn't as bad. And despite all the stuff, I do love Frank Miller, and Frank Miller is absolutely one of my favorite creators out there. And so, at my daughter works at a used bookstore, and with her employee discounts, she gets half off. And so some idiot got rid of all their uh, Sin City books. And although I have a lot of them, or I have all of them in one way or another, at the cost, at half off the half, each book cost me $5. So I ended up getting all 7 volumes because they were all in there. So, all right. So, this is awesome. Man, Frank was really doing really cool stuff back then. This was so different. Goodness gracious. So, a lot of stuff here. So, um, Sin City is a world out of balance where virtue is defined by individuals in difficult situations. So, love just it's so different. It's so different from anything done that was being done at that time. Now, there are people who have similar drawing styles as Frank Miller. Chris Samney, Eduardo Rizzo, Eduardo Rizzo works a lot with David Azzarello. He did 100 Bullets. He practically does a lot of the stuff with Brian Azzarello. He just did that werewolf series set during the Prohibition era. I forgot the name, but oh my gosh, I forgot the name. But Eduardo Rizzo, like I said, if you find a Brian Azzarello book, chances are it is drawn by Eduardo Rizzo. So, love the black, and so here we go. One. So these vignettes, just it's so cool. Just goodness gracious, no one had done this. At least no one in mainstream comics had done this, which is what made Sin City so freaking amazing. Wow. And so in the Dark Horse Comics Presents, this was the first page here, and it would say Sin City Episode 1. So each part was 8 pages. And so so we start out with Goldie here, hitting on Marv. And yep. There's a lot of splash pages here. I mean, Miller really, really, really. And so this is narrated by Marv here. The night is hot as hell. Everything sticks. It's a lousy room and a lousy part of sorry. It's a lousy room in a lousy part of a lousy town. The air conditioner is a clanking piece of junk that couldn't keep a drink cold if you sat it right on top of it as he's drinking the thing. The beer, sorry. I'm staring at a goddess. She's telling me she wants me. She sounds like she means it. I'm not going to waste one more second wondering how it is I've gotten so lucky. Again, look at this style. Look at just this image. Um, it's just remarkable. It's so different here. I know people see this now and probably are used to it, but you have to put yourself in the early 90s to see how wonderful and different this was. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned before, Frank Miller probably wasn't the first person to draw like this, but he was the first major creator who just completely went into a lot of this. This just, you just did not see this, even on other creator owned comic books as well. During the late 80s, early 90s, Frank Miller was just a creative master. He was a force of nature during this time here. And so Marv continues, she smells like angels ought to smell. And so, of course, again, and just wow. The 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 white it's this is just remarkable. I don't know. I'm gonna, I'm gonna try not to go ooh ah in every freaking panel, but this is just incredible. Look how little the the detail is. Just enough, just right here. Wow. So basically, having sex. Goldie's a high end prostitute, so um a lousy hotel that has a room has a bed shaped like a heart. And so Marv continues. You get in a fight, you fight in a war, and you figure all the worst of it will be worth it for one big moment. And that moment, as good as it is never good enough. But this, one last time, I wonder why. Then she falls against me, dripping with that angel sweat of hers, the perfect woman, the goddess, Goldie. She says her name is Goldie. If you have read this before, I'm sure this turned you into a fan of Frank Miller. So now that's over here. So Marv continues, and you see the room. I love this view here. 3 hours later, I've got my pants pulled on and my boots laced up, and my head's feeling several sizes too big, and that cold thing happens to my stomach, and I realize that Goldie is dead. And so, just before I move on, this is just remarkable. The negative space left in there without just your eye completes this. It's just wow. And so, not a mark on her. You'd have to check her pulse or notice those perfect breaths of hers aren't moving like they should be if she was breathing. And so he's getting ready, is taking out a pack of cigarettes here as he sits down. And there's nothing telling me it wasn't just a heart attack in her sleep. Nothing but that cold thing in my gut getting colder. So, and again, wonderful. It's been too damn many times across too damn many years for me to even question that feeling. She was murdered, and I was right here when it happened, lying next to her, stone drunk, just like she was. And so he continues here. Damn it, Goldie. Who were you and who wanted you dead? Who were you besides an angel of mercy giving a two-time loser like me the night of his life? And so we continue. God knows why. It sure as hell wasn't my looks. So that'll be revealed later what it was that she wanted. And so he lights up his cigarettes. Not my looks or anything else about me. Dames without a tenth of what you had to offer, write me off as the macho pig I am. So why that sleazy saloon? Why that slow smile? Why the kindness, Goldie? Why, I ask now, but when you got scared, when you trembled and your eyes went big as a little girl's, I didn't ask why. Not then, as he kind of looks behind his shoulder. Then I didn't give a damn what was bothering you. All of a sudden, something outside screams, coming this way. Very Frank Miller, old style. Uh, what would you say? I would say like face. Um, and coming this way. Oh, you can see this in Dark Knight Returns. His style has evolved from this so much. Um, I know that video makes it sound like I hate him, but I love me old Frank Miller. Again, just not too thrilled about the new style, but that's what this story is about, and we're gonna enjoy this story. So you can see the cops coming in again. The black and white is just gorgeous here. Cops, they're telling me too much, showing up before anybody but me and the killer could have known there's been a murder. No time to hide. No point in playing good citizen either. Sin City cops have had their hands on me before. This time they won't make the mistake of letting me live. And Marv goes, damn. And so he grabs his jacket here. No reason at all to play it quiet. No reason to play it any way but my way. And so he puts it on and looks at it, and we're about to have a kick ass. And so this is, I believe, the second one here. And he's holding on to Goldie here. And he says, whoever killed you is going to pay, Goldie. We're supposed to call them cops, but everybody knows who they're working for and what it takes to keep them happy. Somebody paid good money for this frame as they're going up. Just so simple, so elegant. What a beautiful composition. Goodness. And so he takes his pills, or he's ready to pop them, takes them out there and just puts them in there. Open up, police. And Marv is like, I'll be right out. And goes right through them. And so this cop here is like, oh no. And so shoots him, even hits him. He doesn't care. And so he goes down, he misses, he jumps down, and he's going as they continue shooting. And he catches himself, and they're still shooting, hitting him, and he's pulling himself up the stairway. And you can see the hoof, the thump, up there. And they're still trying to shoot as he looks beyond. And another beautiful page here as he jumps out the window here. This would seem so wasteful, nothing else but this image, but it's so powerful. This era, Frank Miller was just doing beautiful, beautiful work. And, oh my goodness gracious, that is gorgeous. And so he is going to land on this pile of garbage. We see someone there. A couple people sleeping on them, so they're about to get a little. And so he lands through, a couple drunks there. And he's like, as the cops are going through. And so he's up. He's huffing here, and the cops get there, but he's not going to give them a chance. And he's got to go right through the window. Wow. And so the cop who was moving or going through, he's now ends up. I guess I should have. It does look like the cop car, is still. But if you take a look at this, so it's Frank Miller's letting you know that it's still moving. It's not static. So when he jumps, he uses the momentum to go through. Because windshields, I don't think just break just like that. So, but because the car was moving, so they end up now hitting the wall here, and so you see all the crumpled the windshield here, and Marv takes the cops out and takes the car. He goes, "I don't know why you died, Goldie. I don't know why, and I don't know how. And hell, I never even met you before tonight, but you were a friend and more when I needed one. And when I find out who did it, it won't be quick or quiet like it was with you." And so he's sending the car through and gets out. "No, it'll be loud and nasty, my kind of kill. I'll stare the bastard in the face and laugh as he uh, screams to God, and I'll laugh harder when he whimpers like a baby. And when his eyes go dead, the hell I send him, I will, the hell I send him to will seem like heaven after what I've done with him. I love you, Goldie." All right. And so he's swimming through and up for air. Just wonderful. By now, there's 2 dozen cops up in the pier, guns cocked, waiting for me to surface so they can blast my face to kingdom come. I hope they're holding their breaths, the bastards. And so he is gonna go through a sewer pipe. Ugh. So filthy water. All right. Beautiful panel there. And so he goes through. Ha! Cough, bastards. And so he goes off the. These things are pretty heavy. He just moves it in there. Bastards, show them off, and he starts coughing here. I have to get I have to get to Lucille's. She knows what I need, and she's got it. She's always got it. And so he's hiding in there. There's another cop just whistling. And so look at this. Just gorgeous. My God. Just wonderful. And he's climbing and just showing us a little bit of the bricks. Not the whole thing, just the parts that are shaded. It is fantastic. Fantastic. And no, you can't tell me Frank Miller still draws like this. So here he is going up, and she hears something. Oof! She sleeps naked here, and so she says, "Claire," and so takes out the gun, and he's coughing, and she's going in there, and she's like, "Oh, it's you." And so Marv says, "Don't worry, Lucille. I was just grazed. Got any beers around this place?" As he's covered in bandages. All right. No, there's no way I'm giving you any alcohol. Besides, that's not what you came here for, is it? And he says, "No." And so she gives him these pills. "Go ahead. You're worse without them." And so he says, "Thanks. You're the best. This is such cop, such noir kind of thing." And so Marv continues, "Lucille's my parole officer. She's a dyke, but God knows why," meaning she's gay. Um, with that body of hers, she could have any man she wants. The pills come from her girlfriend, who's a shrink. She's trying to analyze me, but she tried to analyze me once, but got too scared. And so Lucille says, "Haven't seen you like this in a while." And Mar says, "Yeah, I had to fight some cops." And Lucille says, "Oh, that's lovely. You didn't happen to kill any of them, did you?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't think so, but they know they've been in a fight. That's for damn sure," he says. I love how there's no forehead or no if you see here on the bridge of the nose, the way Miller draws them, it's just pretty much a straight thing here. So, um, and Lucille says, "How the hell do you suppose I'm going to square this with the board?" And she goes, "Ow." And Marv says, "There's no squaring it, babe. Not a chance. Not this time," as he kind of grabs her hard. And he says, "This isn't some barroom brawl or some creep with a gas can looking to torch some wino. This is big, and I'm right in the middle of it, and there's no place I'd rather be." And of course, she's like, "Settle down, Marv. Take another pill." And so he says again to her, "There's no settling down. I'm going for blood. Sorry. It's going to be blood for blood and by the gallons. It's the old days, the bad days, the all or nothing days. They're back. There's no choice left. I'm ready for war." And she says, "Prison was hell for you, Marv. It'll be life this time," she says. And Marv says, "Hell, you don't know what hell means. None of you people do. Hell isn't getting beat up or cut up or hauled in front of some jury. Hell is waking up every goddamn morning and not knowing why you're even here, why you're even breathing." And so we continue here. What the hell? Sorry, that's what hell is. And I'm finally and I'm finally out. It took somebody who was very kind to me getting killed to do it, but I'm out. I know exactly why I'm breathing. I know exactly what I'm doing," he says as she stares at him. And so now he's in the roof here. And just so, again, it almost seems like a waste, but it isn't. It's just masterful. So now we see Marv falling and then running through the rooftops here. Just such this is so cool. Now for Gladys. Sweet Gladys. But I have to sneak past Mom. And her ears have gotten a whole lot better since she went blind. So he's taking off his shoes here so as to not wake up his mom. So, wow, that is just beautiful art here. And he's got a little airplane, model airplane, hanging in there. And look at the little bed here. Mom still hasn't changed a thing in this room. Every week, every week she dusts this all off so it looks like it was only yesterday I moved out. But every time I come visit, she has me sleep in here, and the old smells make me cry like they do right now. I knew Gladys would be safe here. So, who's Gladys, you ask? It's his gun. I stole her off the toughest guy I ever messed with back in school. He was dead, and at the time, so he didn't miss her. Sorry. I call her Gladys after one of the sisters from school. She almost lived up to the name. This is just beautiful work. Oh. For a while, we just get the feel of each other. Uh, I'm so sorry. For a while, we just get the feel of each other's back, good as ever. I tell her about Goldie and what we have to do. And so the mom goes, "Marvin, is that you, baby?" And then he says, "Yes, Mom. Sorry I woke you up." And so you can see the mom pulling in the door. Just beautiful detail, or maybe not detail, but just you can totally see this just in all this black. It just for what Frank Miller has done is absolutely amazing. And so she's got the same straight edge here. And she says, "Oh, I couldn't sleep for the worry. There were some men who came looking for you. They weren't police," says the mom. And so Marv says, "That was about my new job. I got a new job. It's night work," he says. And the mom says, "And what have you done to your face?" And as she's feeling it there, You can see that a little bit there with the fingers here. So Miller's just giving us enough detail so you can see it. And he says, I cut myself shaving. That's all, she says. Or he says here. And so the mom says, now be honest with your mother. You're getting confused again, aren't you? And Marvin says, Mom, I feel better than I have in years. There's something you're not telling me, she says, and now it's all black here. Well, okay, there is. I met a girl. Her name's Goldie. She's really nice. And so, chapter 4. And so he's walking. And he says here, I was always good at jigsaw puzzles. Back in school, I had this buddy, name of Chuck. He was oh my goodness. It is a bit of a tough. So we'll just say he was challenged. He'd watch me put the pieces together, and I love that guy because he was the only person I ever met who was dumb enough to think I was a genius. In the situation I got right now, it's just one jigsaw puzzle problem. Um is one more jigsaw puzzle. Problem is I'm damn short on pieces. And so we continue here. I've been framed for murder and the cops are in on it. But the real enemy, the son of a bitch who killed the angel lying next to me, he's out there somewhere out of sight. The big missing piece that'll give me all and that'll give me the how and the why and a face and a name and a soul to send screaming into hell. The good news is that the killer isn't sitting back waiting for the cops to polish me off. There were some men who came looking for you, Mom said. They weren't police. So all I had to do is send the bastard an invitation. He'll come or he'll send somebody, and either way, if I don't get dead, I'm bound to wind up with one or two more puzzle pieces. So, oh, sorry. All right, and so here we go. Walk down the right back alley in Sin City and you can find anything. And so here we go. Just beautiful detail here. It's all white and just giving us the his shadow here. So and so the door unlocks. He tosses this guy out here. And he looks at Marv and says, and your coat looks like Baghdad. So is your face. Take off, he says, and Marv grabs him here. Oh, presses on the eyes, and he screams. You hear a crunch. And he says, tell Katie it's Marv. It'll be okay. And the guy goes, okay. And she's like, he's new here, Marv. He didn't know. And so we get some more stuff here. In this town, just about anything you can name that's worth doing is against the law. It works out better for everybody this way. Cops and politicians make their fortunes by looking the other way, while crooks like Katie get away with charging $10 a drink. But here at Katie's, my drinks are always free. The sweet old transsexual would break my arm if I tried to pay. I've done her favors, and there's nobody who knows where the bodies are buried. Katie is my kind of joint. Country, and I don't mean that touchy-feely you put me on a natural high garbage they're passing off as country these days. No, at Katie's it's the old stuff. It's Conway and Tammy and Merle from back before they went all squishy. Songs to drink to and cry to. I'm hit square in the chest with the pumped up all that way bass of Emmylou belting out Driving Wheel. Must be Nancy on stage. That's her favorite song to shake it to. And so this guy here, old guy, goes, I didn't mean it, Lord. I didn't mean it. I don't know what got into me. You know I love you, darling. And so we've got Nancy. I think in the movie it was Jessica Alba. It's Nancy, all right, just getting started with her gig, but already the crowd's breathing hard. And so, here we go. Plenty of nights I've drooled over Nancy, shoulder to shoulder with all the other losers like me. But that's not what I'm looking for tonight. I'm looking for something small and hairy. We got Wolverine here, basically. And he smiles. And he grabs him and he says, "Take it easy, Weevil. I'm here to do you a favor. It's money in your pocket." And so everybody's watching Nancy. Nobody's paying attention to Marv except um, the servers here. "Spread the word, Weevil, and get good cash for it because it's worth it," says Marv. "Tell them I've been hitting the joints, drunk off my butt, shooting off my mouth, crying over some hot babe named Goldie." And he's like, "Gack." And so the guy runs away, and she says, "What'll be, Marv?" And Marv says, "A shot and a brew, Shelley. Thanks." And so Nancy's still on stage here. A lot of splash pages. This is also what made the book so different. Is Frank Miller drew tons and tons of splash pages, and so it looks like some time has passed here, and show's over, buddy. Drink up, and you can see the smile here, and so it looks like it's two guys there. And Mars says, "Now that is one fine coat you're wearing there." And then he says, "Erp." And so he goes along with them. He says, "I love Hitmen. No matter what you do to them, you don't feel bad. In fact, the worse you do, the better it gets." Right on cue, Katie kicks the volume up to max loud, enough to drown out anything. And so Mars says, "Must have set you back $5, that code. I mean, damn, if it isn't one fine piece of work." And of course, he's like, "You shut up." And here I thought they stopped making decent coats back in the 50s. Like cars, and he trips him and he goes, "Whoop." And then he takes the gun here and he's like, "Oof." And then, like, "Stan, he's got me." And then he shoots the guy in the hand and then hits this guy against the brick wall here. And the screaming here, "Gah, gah," as Marv, I think he's choking the guy. And he's like, "Take it off." And he goes, "What?" Look at the blood here. Oh, great cartooning here. So he does as he aims the gun at him. "The coat, take it off. You're bleeding all over it. Fine coat like that, and you're bleeding all over it. It's just not right." He's like, "All right, take it. It's yours." And he goes, "Thanks," and shoots him. And he goes, "Oh, God. It wasn't you losers who killed Goldie. That guy who did the guy who did that, he knew what he was doing. Still, you got to have something. Tell me, like, who it was who sent you here." And they're like, "Don't kill me, man. Gah, you already have killed yourself, jerk." Wise up as he hits him. Um, but even though it feels like Niagara Falls down there, you'll be a damn long time dying, and I can make it quick or I can make it worse. I don't hear you giving me any name, jerk. Guess when I shot you in the belly, I aimed a little too high." He's like, "No." And so he shoots him again here. Oh my goodness gracious. "You keep holding out on me like this, and I'm going to have to get really nasty. I don't think you want that to happen any more than I do." And so the guy says, "It was Telly Stern. Pass me the order." Runs the tables over at the Triple Ace clubs. As Marv, you can see him turning on a cigarette here. "Thanks again," and shoots the guy right in the head here. And he puts on the coat with everybody dead. Look at this art. Oh, it's just incredible. "These clowns have to have some money on them," he says. And so That's the damnedest thing happens. For a second, I smell that angel smell that belonged only to Goldie. Crazy. Just need my medicine is all. But you can see someone is watching him, and he smells Goldie. And of course, we got, bastard, you're gonna pay for what you did to me. And he's got the gun out. So, was it Goldie? Was it not? Well, we're gonna see here. So, oh hell, the sun's up. Now I've got to go find a place to sack out. And here I was just getting warmed up. Damn. And so, look at that. Oh, this is a little bit. So, just Frank Miller during this time was just something else. But I love the forehead. Just boop. And so he's sleeping here, just tossing and turning. He can't sleep. And you can see just, this is just gorgeous. And so he goes, no good trying to sleep. And it's not the street noise or the stench of the $9 flop either. It's just, sorry, I'm just too excited. I can't ever sleep when I'm excited. No game on TV, nothing to do but sit and wait for the damn sun and all the prying eyes to get out of the way. I hate the sun and the eyes. And so he waits and waits and waits. Now it's nighttime. The air cools, the sounds change. The suits in the briefcase scurries to their fortresses and bolt their doors and balance their checkbooks and ignore the screams and try not to think about who really owns this city. My hands are shaking like a kid's at Christmas. The years fall away, just many chunks of dead flesh. And there's blood in my hands, in my arms, pounding between my ears and pushing me forward and telling me I'll never be tired again. And look at this as he is just laying on everyone. Just wow. And there's no thinking and no need for it. The instincts take over. White hot. The animal in me, I try to drown in booze and bloody brawls. He's back, and he's howling, he's laughing. He's laughing out loud. He's crazy with the pure sweet hate of it all. So Marv is on the loose. And look at this. Feel like talking yet. And he's got just, oh my God. This is. Oh, all right. And Sin City, she's a big bad brat, flat on her back, begging for it. And I take her for all she's worth. And then I take her again, and she's still begging. Damn, it's good to be alive. And so, oh, this part's always been something. I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball, he says. Oh, my goodness gracious. Then I go to church, not to pray. And so the priest, and what have been your sins, my son? And Marv says, well, Padre, I don't want to keep you up at night, so I'll just fill you in on the latest batch. And he says, these here hands of mine, they got blood all over them. And I don't mean really. I wouldn't come to church without wiping it off. And so the priest says, you speaking figuratively. And so Marv says, I knew there was a word for it. You're one smart guy. Myself, I'm not so bright. When I need to find something out, I just look for somebody who knows more than me, and I go ask them. But sometimes I ask pretty hard. By the way, by way of, for instance, I killed 3 men tonight. I tortured them first, and you can see the priest with the eyes open. You might say I've been working my way up the food chain. The first 2, there were minnows, small-time messengers. But it was Connolly, the man who fingered you, Padre. You know what that sound means. Sit down, as he means the gun. And so, dear Lord, man, this is the house of God. And he says, just give me a damn name. And he says, Rourke. So who is Rourke? Well, we'll see. Rourke, You really are pushing your luck trying to feed me garbage like this. It can't be that big. And the priest says, find out for yourself, you sorry bastard. There's a farm out at North Cross and Lennox. It's all there. Find out for yourself, and while you're at it, ask yourself if that corpse of a slut is worth dying for. Oh, and all of a sudden, blam, worth dying for. Blam, worth killing for as he kills the priest. Blam, worth going to hell for, and you can see the cross in there. Um, uh, Frank Miller and religious motifs. That's his thing. Amen. And so he leaves the church and lights up a cigarette. There isn't much better in life than a smoke when you haven't had one in a while. Like after a movie or after church. I just murdered a priest. His key says the padre drove a Mercedes. Or at least what they're passing off as a Mercedes these days. Modern cars, they all look like electric shavers. And then, and you can see a car coming. The scree. And so here comes a car. You can see it's a woman driving. And I love this. He's going to take out the gun, sees the woman, aims the gun, cocks the hammer, and sees the woman. He goes, Goldie, and drops a cigarette. This is just gorgeous. And then runs Marv over. Love the car being kind of lifted up, showing movement. Very old style here. Just things in movement here. That's what this is for, to show the car turn. And he's like, oof, and hits him again and again to create that the car is moving. Also here, the little bend, but the car is up. And he's like, Goldie, and hits him again and shoots him. And so misses, but man, he's got to be hurt as she continues shooting, and he's trying to dodge out of the way. He's like Goldie as he's bleeding from all those times he got hit. And so, no, couldn't have been Goldie as he coughs here, getting into the car here. And so Marv continues driving. Sin City falls away behind me, the noisy and ugly as hell. The Mercedes hums and handles like a dream. She may look like some Japanese designed her, but the engine's a beauty. My head starts to clear. Things start to make sense. That wasn't Goldie back there. I let myself get confused again. It's only when I smell things that aren't there, or even when I hear things, but it's pretty serious when I see things. And so he's still popping pills. It's my own fault and nobody else's that I got confused. I would have been all right if I took my medicine when I should have. I've been having so much fun I forgot to take my medicine. That wasn't Goldie back there. Goldie is dead, and that's the whole reason I've been doing what I've been doing. I forgot to take my medicine. And when you've got a condition, it's bad to forget your medicine. And he swallows it. Oh, beautiful. And so chapter 6, we now see him running through. 2 miles from the farm, I spot a diner and leave the Mercedes in the parking lot and move ahead on foot. If there's anything to what the Padre told me, I've got to play this careful, even if it means cutting through the woods at night. I hate the woods at night, especially the sounds. People are always talking about nature, like it's all sweet and friendly. All I can figure is they never spent a night tied to a tree in the woods. Ever since Cap, I've hated the woods. There isn't much else that scares me. So, real quick, because you don't see Frank Miller draw this very often, it's actually kind of cool seeing him draw trees and leaves and all that kind of stuff. So, all of a sudden you hear this cack, and we've got a turtle grabbing the, an insect here. And you see Marv going through, clack, clack, clack. So a grasshopper, and so we see a windmill here, clack, 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 clack. And so here's the farm. Oh, beautiful. That cold thing, it creeps into my gut and tells me one more time it won't let me go. I get confused sometimes, but the cold thing, it's never wrong, and I've learned to trust it. Maybe it's something I smell or hear or spot out of the corner of my eye. Something I'm too dumb to notice. But here it is again. That ice ball in my stomach ought to be. This is a bad place. This farm. People have died here the wrong way. And here he is bent over. So he hears something, turns around, and it's the wolf here. I don't want to fight, Pooch. Easy, boy. I've got no gripes with you. And so he attacks him, and Marv kicks it and punches it. No way I'm going to use my gun on you, buddy. You're even dumber than I am. And besides, whoever owns you, I'm curious about. And you can see behind him here. Because there's because there's blood on your breath, and I think I know uh, what kind. And so we see behind him. I think Tobey Maguire played him in the movie, if I remember correctly. I haven't seen the movie in forever. Not as good as the book. So I sniff around to see what's buried. So the guy here keeps looking through again. Frank Miller, just how he puts everything in black here, and so he watches, and we see, here we go. Did this come out of any coyote? Of course, it's a human bone here, a leg bone. This neither. All of a sudden, right behind me, and so you can see the guy loved the Converse. They got nice little detail. Impossible. Nobody can sneak up on me, and he's kicked here. And he shoots, but he's still kicked. And kick again. And he's got like not talons, but his fingernails are very and he hits him right in the spot. My fingers die. I go blind as he hits him in the eyes too. Not a sound. Nobody's that quiet. Nobody except that one who snuck into that hotel room 2 nights ago and hits him again here. He's got a sweater. That's the coolest. It was you, bastard, who killed her. You killed Goldie. And he grabs the sledgehammer and just hits Marv. Oh my goodness gracious. And just looks at him, kind of indifferent here. And Marv lays down. Oh, that just is beautiful here. So you see Marv here kind of falling. And so Frank Miller's style is so unique in his writing as well. So it's not just a drawing style, but he definitely has a different sound than a lot of other people. You can almost tell a Frank Miller piece of work that he just writes without even looking at the credits. And so we continue here as Marv is sort of narrating things. For a while, it's outer space with no stars in it, cold and black and bottomless. I tumble weightless as a ghost. For a while, I've got no brain and no body, and that's fine by me. But then the broken bits start with their nagging. Their jagged little bastards dance like leprechauns, pulling together in a bully circle, laughing at me, telling me I'm an even bigger loser than I ever thought I was. They play it back for me like a movie on rewind, from the sunburst of the sledgehammer hitting my face back to the soft, chilly skin of the goddess who was murdered in my bed. I blew it, Goldie. I found your killer, but he was better than me. Too quiet and too quick. A killer born. He took me out like I was a Girl Scout. He didn't even break a sweat. But if I'm doing all this thinking, that means I'm still alive, doesn't it? Why didn't he finish the job? Or is this the whole hell I spent my whole life earning falling forever, falling, never knowing. Then the hurt comes, the living hurt, streaking from behind my eyes, finding a place to have its fun. A smell hits my nostrils, hard burning, antiseptic. Light grows. I dive for it. So, real quick, have you noticed, and I guess I didn't notice, but the lettering is different. I wonder if that was intentional or did he letter something differently and somebody else kind of went because it's almost like a different font, but it's all done in his same voice. But I've noticed several other times, and I guess the first time I noticed is that there's a lettering difference. So, all right, so it continues to fall, and now he's in here in a bathroom, and he goes cough, and so suddenly he looks, sees the flowers tattooed, and we see this head, and it's a bunch of heads on a wall. And so Lucille is sitting across the corner. He keeps the head, he eats the rest. And Marv is like, Lucille, and look at her, and she goes, he eats people, not just the wolf of his, it's him. He eats people. The wolf just gets scraps bones. It's him. He eats people. And Marv says, you're in shock. And she says, he cooks them first. And so he puts the coat on her to warm her up. You've got to settle down, kid. You're in shock. Here, let's get you warm. And she continues, he cooks them like they were steaks, just like they were steaks. And now he's got both of us. And he holds her, trying to keep her calm. It's all right. Take a nice slow breath. I don't know if he's going to eat you or not. It's the girl he eats, as far as I can tell. Just looks at the wall. The head's on the wall. The head's on the wall. And so she you can see there, he cut her hand. He made me watch. Son of a bitch. Kept smiling that damn smile. He made me watch him suck the meat off my fingers. Son of a bitch. He made me watch. Oh, Jesus. So... yeah, he took her hand and ate it. Goodness gracious. He made me watch, and then she screams. Oh my goodness. And there's Kevin. Again, no emotion. You don't see him smiling. You don't see anything. He just pretty straight. So my understanding is he is modeled after Jeff Darrow, his creative partner here. So he holds on to her. And you can see the tears here. She says, Christ, I could use a cigarette. And so we continue with the narration here. Dames, sometimes all they do is let it out, and a few buckets later, there's no way you'd ever know. I watched Lucille slide every gorgeous inch of herself into my coat. I shake my head for what must be the millionth time. Hardware like that, she's got... and Lucille's the dyke. It's a damn crime. But I don't say a word about that. I piped up at her once that maybe she ought to get treatment or something, and she hauled off and nailed me with a punch that showed me there was plenty of muscle under all that heaven. And that was years ago, and it hasn't got anything to do with getting out of here. And you can see Marv is holding on. He's trying to, not holding on, he's trying to pull the bars out. And so she says, you brought us some big trouble this time, Marv. Whoever's behind this, all this has got his connections right in the department. Any leads, she says, or she asks. Now, real quick here, it's kind of funny because the way it's almost, this wouldn't be, I don't know. It looks a little funny with the way that she's posed. It's almost like she's laying down. Obviously this is the floor, she's walking on it, and we've got, obviously he's on the wall here, but I don't know, not quite there, but as he's pulling, he's like, "Nuff, yeah, I had some nosing around." The one guy I talked to, he told me it was Rourke running the show. And she says, that's gotta be bullshit. And he continues pulling, just telling you what I've been told. Oof, as he tries to pull. Well, whoever it is, he knew I was checking out that hooker almost before I did. And Marv goes, what hooker? And she takes a puff of the cigarette. The one you've been obsessing over, the dead one, Goldie. And Marv goes, I didn't know she was a hooker. It doesn't make any difference about anything, but I didn't know that about her. And so Lucille says she was very high class stuff, top dollar. She must have shown you quite a time. And he says, let's not talk about that, okay? Tell me about him, the bum who snuck into my room and killed Goldie. What did he and did what he did to you? Sorry. And so he continues trying to pull. I never knew what hit me. I was walking to my car. That's all I can remember. Then I was in his kitchen. I was paralyzed. I smelled the meat cooking. He cut it off before I woke up. My hand, I mean, it didn't even hurt. So he made me watch, just like I told you. Hold on, quiet. There's a car coming. And so V8 engine coming fast. And so you can see that the guys right here. I don't believe we have. Did we already say his name? I know who he is, but I'm just wondering if his name has been mentioned yet. And so here's the car. Honk, honk, honk. So here we go. We finally get his name, Kevin. Kevin, come quickly. And so, why didn't he finish me? Who's he working for? No answers. All I've got is a face and a name. See you later, Kevin. So, it's so good. So, chapter 7. And I think since he's supposed to be Los Angeles, I mean, it could be anywhere, but I believe it's Los Angeles that it is based. And so here's the farm. And so just beautiful stuff. It's amazing. It seems like a waste, like but he's just being allowed complete artistic freedom. And so here's a reinforced door, and you see that you keep seeing those effects. Grr, kunk, goof, kunk. And so what he's doing is he's trying to batter the door out, and it's not working. So he keeps hitting it, but it's not working, and then he goes again. And oh my god, it's just gorgeous art. So, my goodness, Frank Miller. And so he's a little winded, and then he's like gonna get ready to do it again. He's just not letting go, and so off he goes. But all of a sudden, you see that he's made a dent. So he continues and continues and continues and continues. Just amazing. How? So he finally busts through, but look at the creative freedom that he had just to do pages of him hitting the door. Isn't that something? My goodness gracious. So he says, let's go. For a second, it's almost like she's scared to leave. Crazy, but aren't they all? Dames, I mean. So, all right. And so you hear, so like a helicopter, I would assume. And so here it is, as they look up, and the helicopter. The wind of the desert goes cold. Lucille's a kitten under my arm, soft and weightless and warm. But I know Gladys will be colder than the wind, cold and ready, begging for it. So, sweet Gladys as he grabs his gun. And so we got these mercenaries leaving the helicopter, kind of looking around. And so Marv goes, they're done checking the house. They're coming this way. Bastards, I'll show them. And he's got his gun ready to go. And suddenly you see this cud. and they're not going to get either of us killed. Sorry, you're not going to get either of us killed, Marv, as she apparently hits him from behind. I know it's some part of the thing is it's a little hard to make out what it is, but here's Marv laying on the grass and she's right here, and then she's holding the gun. So in his sometimes with the black and white, it is you gotta read into it. So here's her hair for those, and then his legs. So and so she goes, "No, don't shoot. Please listen to me. I'm his parole officer." He starts to come through a little bit. And I like this as his necklace here with the cross. And she says, "He's unconscious and unarmed. Here, take his gun." And so these are supposed to be the cops here. "Thank you, ma'am. Where is he?" And Marv keeps looking at that. If you remember a couple pages ago, there was the axe there. So don't show anything unless you're going to use it. So he grabs the axe. There's no reason to kill him. And so this guy says, "Yes, there is, ma'am. Once he told us who else he's spoken to." And she goes, "What?" And he just lays bullets on her. And oh my goodness gracious. And look, with such little brushstrokes and all this, you can just clearly tell. And so you can see the pain and anguish in Marv's face. And so so they were mercenaries. So excuse me, Captain, but the target, he's not where she said. As continues shooting her. There's no sign of him. And so why was the captain wearing like a thing? Or was I haven't read this in forever, so you have to excuse me here. So all right. Here's a sign as Marv goes and hits him from behind with the axe here. Oh, just gorgeous panel. Or page, or sorry. All right, and so he kicks this one here into the other guy and shoots, and she grabs, or here he is, and just again showing just the silhouette of things. This is just beautiful. This video is taking me so long just because I keep gushing over this art. It's a great story here. So here he shoots Marv, and this guy's like, "Gah!" Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. Gack, he says. Just he continues shooting here, and Marv is just getting everybody here. And so he's out of bullets. You hear the click, 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 click. Now that there, he looks at the captain here, who I don't know why he's got that thing. That there is one damn fine coat you're wearing. Well, his last one got ruined, and he laughs as he's chasing him. And so, chapter 8. This one, just a little bit different. I mean, the style, it's almost like changing a little bit of the style kind of in there, but now we've got the rain. And so this is what I mean. Just Frank Miller just getting so much fun getting to draw what he wants here. So rain doesn't come to Sin City real often, but when it does, it's usually pretty lame stuff. Warm as sweat, and lucky if it gets to the pavement before it evaporates. But maybe twice a year, the desert sky really coughs it up and spits out a cold, mean torrent that turns the streets to glass and chills you to the bone. Most people hate the rain when it's nasty like this, but me, I love it. It helps me think. I'm not real smart, but I feel a whole lot smarter when everything goes slick and everybody skitters off the streets and gets out of my way. I love the rain. I love the icy way it creeps down my neck. The way the air goes electric and everything seems so clear. You breathe in and your nostrils work. That's what I do. I breathe in and I just let my feet take me wherever they want. I think. And so it's just panels of him kind of walking and just wow, wow, wow. I think he just basically drew the panel in black and then he probably used white media to create the effect. My eyes still watch for a squad car or a beat cop, but my brain goes off on its own, deep inside, spreading out the puzzle pieces one more time, trying to find two that'll fit together, looking for some hint of the big picture. But mostly I keep coming back to that cop I just killed and what he told me. He was a tough one, and I was pretty steamed about what he had done to Lucille. And anyway, so I took my time with that son of a bitch. It wasn't until I showed him all the pieces of himself that he said what he said. Then all of a sudden, he was the one doing the laughing because he saw the look on my face and he died knowing I wished to God he'd kept his mouth shut after all. It was just a name, but I haven't stopped shaking since I heard it, and the rain isn't the reason I'm shaking either. Just a name. Back when the priest said it, I figured he was jerking my chain, but hearing it from the cop, I knew it couldn't be a coincidence. Just a name, Rourke. And so, again, look at this. Rourke, damn it. What a page. Just every inch of me wants to turn tail, to sneak into the back of a truck or hop a freight car and haul out of town. I want to run like hell, to crawl into a cave somehow and forget about Goldie and Lucille and silent deadly Kevin. Rourke, damn it. I'm as good as dead. I'm as good as dead. Look at this as it hits. Just wow. And so, and if it's not, sorry, and it's not that I'm any kind of hero that makes me say, heroes don't go weak in the knees. I feel like throwing up for curling into a little ball and crying like a baby. And so we have him still going through the rain, or at least that's what I think it is. It's really hard to make out like where he is, if he's even in there, or if it's just rain hitting things. So this is kind of where it's things get messed up here because this part is hard to make out, but there's so many other good parts that even when you see these parts, it's okay. I have a hard time making out the figure in here. Like, is this the shoulder? Because this is part of, I think, the jacket. Is this him? I just have a hard time with this part here. I, I cannot quite make out what this is supposed to be here. Um, so we continue reading. And even though my life would be nothing but an endless gray hell of booze and brawls like it was before, I'm more scared of dying than I am of living. No, I'm no hero, not by a long shot. I just know Goldie won't let me off so easy. No matter where I go, I'll smell her angel smell. I see that mouth and those eyes and that perfect, perfect body. I'll hear her and I'll taste her, and I know it was me, only me, who could have set things right. You were scared, weren't you, Goldie? Somebody wanted you dead, and you knew it, so you hit the saloons and the bad places looking for the biggest, meanest lug around, and finding me, looking for protection and paying for it with your body, and more with love, with wildfire, making me feel like a king, like a damn white knight, like a hero. What a laugh. You wanted me to keep you safe, but when that bastard came to kill you, I was stone drunk, blacked out, useless. And so we get another as the rain is hitting Marv here. I owe you, Goldie. I owe you, and I'm going to pay up. So I'm going after Rourke. Sorry. So going after Rourke means dying, win or lose. Hell, dying will be nothing. I'll die laughing if I know I've done this one thing right. But first, I have to know the why of it. The connection between Rourke and you and the farm boy cannibal who killed you. Then I know then I'll know exactly what to do and who to do it to. I love the rain. It helps me think. So again, I don't quite know, or it's really hard to make out what exactly this mess is. Um, what because you can clearly see that a lot of these panels have been the rain just hitting on him. So then you assume that this is the rain here hitting on him, but it is just really hard to make out a figure or what exactly this is supposed to be. So, all right, so he's walking through. Rourke, he says. I think he just wanted to do this just because he was having fun with this new style of his. Patrick Henry Rourke. And here we go. Saint Patrick, they call him. But it's just a nickname. The Pope hasn't gotten around to make it official. Not yet, anyway. The Rourke family has owned Sin City since the days of the wagon trains and six guns. Over the generations, their millions have grown to billions. They're kind of like our own royal family. This particular generation produced a United States Senator, a state attorney general, and Patrick Henry Rourke. Cardinal Rourke. Back in school, the sisters would never shut up about him. Man of the cloth, war hero in the medical corps, philanthropist, educator. Could have become president if he chose. Could have become president, but he chose to serve God. And along the way, he just happened to become the most powerful man in the state. He's brought down mayors and gotten governors elected. So this is a statue of him, I would imagine. And here's Marv looking at that statue. It's kind of funny that you can make out. It's just and all the other stuff you couldn't. But yeah, this is so much easier to make out than the last one here. And so, and he's going to get killed in the name of a dead hooker. I'm getting used to the idea. More and more, I'm liking the sound of it. And so all of a sudden, blam, he shoots. And he shot at the statue. And he laughs. And then he's holding the gun. Good girl. And so here he is bending over. So then it hits me like a kick in the nuts. What if I'm wrong? I've got a condition. I get confused sometimes. And with Lucille dead, I can't get my medicine. What if I'm imagining things like I did when I thought Goldie attacked me after she was already dead? What if I imagine all this from Goldie's slow smile to the cop fingering Rourke? What if I finally turned into what they always said I was going to turn into? A maniac, a psycho killer. Can't kill a man without knowing for sure you ought to. I've got to know for sure. So, all right. And so, this is I was like, this looks like an eye. It does look like an eye, but this is the other foot. So, all right. The rain's sputtered to a stop, and the streets have come back to life by the time I make my way to Old Town. The merchandise is on display, never mind the cold. Pretty soon, everything from pickups to limos will be pulling in, and business will be booming. Old Town is why nobody calls this burg Basin City, like it says on the map. It was St. Patrick's great-grandfather who made it happen back then. This was a gold rush town on its way to becoming a ghost town. Then Old Man Rourke got himself an idea. He spent every silver dollar he had importing top hookers from France and places like that. Word soon got out, and pretty soon Sin City was the hottest stop in the West. People would come from miles around. They still do, and it's easy to see why. Old Tom's kept its traditions, handed down from gorgeous mother to gorgeous daughter. For an hour or so, I ask around about Goldie. I don't get any answers, but I know I'm bound to. Lucille said Goldie was a hooker, and if she was, she has. Um, sorry. And if she was, she has roots here, friends. And so Marv's doing some investigating here. Beautiful art. And then he's shot. And then he goes, no, no, you can't be Goldie. You can't be. Goldie's dead. And then she shoots again and hits him in the head, but just grazes him. And down he goes. And so here we go. He's coming to. And then he's like, coughing. Goldie, yeah, sure, right. And so he says, it's okay, Goldie. I got nobody to blame but me. I brought this all on myself, and there's no denying it. I haven't had anything to eat or gotten any sleep or taken my medicine for days now, so it's no wonder I'm seeing things, is it? And so she's smoking a cigarette here. I'm no brain surgeon, but I'm smart enough to know it when I'm crazy. Right now, I'm probably lying in a gutter someplace talking to myself. All I know for sure is I don't know nothing about nothing. But I don't care, because if you can't trust what you see, then there's no call to take anything seriously, he says. And so she hits him here and yells, bastard. And then he laughs, and then she's like, son of a bitch. And then this one says, he's crazy. And then this other one says, he's faking it. Hit him again, Wendy, harder. And so he hits him here. You shouldn't ought to hit me that way, Goldie. With the barrel, I mean. You'll knock it out of whack, and the gun will be useless. If you're going to pistol whip someone, do it right. Use the handle like you did the first time. And so she hits him. Hold a minute. Just a second. Why'd she call you Wendy? And she says, because that's my name, you ape. Goldie was my sister, my twin sister. I guess she was the nice one, he says. And so she hits him, and this one's like harder. She likes to inflict pain. You're going to die, mister, but first you're going to talk. Goldie and the other 6, where are they? What did they want? What did you do to them? And so Marv says, you crazy goddamn broad, you've got it all wrong. Just take a look at this mug. Look at it. Would any of you dames let me get close enough to you to kill you? And so, damn straight you would. None of you would. But Goldie, she only did it because she thought I could protect her. But I got too drunk, so I couldn't. I'll bet the cops didn't do a damn thing about those other girls, did they? Damn straight, they don't. But as soon as they had me for a fall guy, they showed up, guns blazing. But they didn't get me, and I've been killing my way to the truth ever since. And I'm getting damn close to it, so go ahead, doll, shoot me now, or get the hell out of the way, he yells. And they all look, and this girl goes, "Aw, nuts." And so he gets out. He was already, okay, I'm glad we got that all sorted out. And they're like, what the hell? No, I tied those knots. That's my specialty. And so you sat there and took it when you could have taken my gun from me anytime you wanted to. And Marv lights up a cigarette here and says, sure, but I thought I might be able to talk some sense into you, and I probably could have had to paste you one getting the gun, and I don't hurt girls. And so, chapter 9. And so, Wendy's smoking a cigarette here. And again, look at him, just a whole splash page just to show him coming out of the door here. I wipe the blood off, and I take a deep breath, and I take a good long look at the monster in the mirror. Don't screw up this time, Marv. It's too important right now. While you're alone, Feel the fear and get past it. Go ahead, shake it like a junkie. Let your heart crawl up your throat. Let your stomach squeeze itself into a golf ball, into one of those black holes that sucks everything into it. Then think about dying. Think hard. Picture it. A bullet through your brain, and that's if you're lucky, getting it that quick. But it's just as likely going to be a slow way, a long, bad joke of a trail. Oh, sorry, of a trial, and a longer wait in a cell until they strap you into the chair that sends a million volts, send you straight to hell, and then and then they'll call you a psycho killer who got what's coming to him. Picture it, feel it. Get used to it, then put it back inside where it belongs. You've got some people to kill, and if you do it right, it won't matter what anybody says about you. You'll go to your grave a winner. I throw up a couple of times, and then I'm ready. Oh my goodness. He grabs his jacket, gun, and axe. And so he says, I need a pair of handcuffs. And then that lady goes, what style you want? I got a collections. And Wendy says, just give him the ones you've got with you, Gail. And so she tosses the handcuffs at him. And so he says, I try not to look at her too much. It makes it worse when I do. But when I close my eyes for too long, it happens anyway. I get confused and start thinking she's Goldie. She's got the smell and the voice, just like she's got the looks. Everything telling me that she's Goldie, and I have to keep reminding myself she isn't. Goldie's dead, and the angel sitting next to me, she's Wendy, Goldie's twin sister. And she's a tough bird. She bounced me around a parking lot with that cute little Porsche. She shot me and pistol whipped me, and it took some fast talking to keep her from blowing my brains out. She's Wendy, Goldie's twin sister. So Marv explains here, it was a farm boy name of Kevin who killed Goldie. Never seen anything like him. Knocked me flat, but it's Rourke who's behind it, and I don't know why Cardinal Rourke. And she says, Rourke, no kidding. And so they're driving here. He says, I know that sounds crazy. And Wendy says, no, it doesn't. Goldie worked the clergy. And so Marv goes, Goldie worked the clergy. Just like that, a whopper of a puzzle piece falls smack in my lap. I'm too dumb to put the whole picture together yet, but she fires up 2 cigarettes and hands me one. I taste her lipstick on it, and suddenly my heart's pounding so loud I can't hear anything else. I want to cry, and I want to laugh at the craziness of it all, but mostly I want to reach out and touch her and taste Goldie's sweat one more time. But she isn't Goldie. And so you can see, oh, this is so cool. Look at that. Did you say something, Wendy? And Wendy says, she was my sister. I loved her. So I'm in this one to the end. But why are you willing to go up against Rourke for someone you barely knew? So Marv says, she was nice to me. And I almost said Goldie. And Wendy says she was desperate. She needed protection and knew how to keep you around. It didn't work out. You don't owe her anything. And Marv says, she was nice to me. She gave me something I didn't know existed. I was never even able to buy a woman that way. To buy a woman the way I look. And so the sun's coming up. We better get out of sight. I know a place. It's a dive, but they keep their mouth shut. Take El Redondo to the bridge. And so she complies. And so she's sleeping on the bed, and Marv's just laying on the floor. And you can see his eyes just kind of looking in there. And, oh, he's on the couch. Sorry. All right, there we go. So he's on the couch right next to her. And it's just, and so he gets up. He goes, Goldie, Goldie, baby, and slap. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, Wendy. And she says, it's all right, Marv. back to the couch now. Really, I'm really sorry. I get confused sometimes. And she says, "It's okay, Marv. Get some sleep." And so he goes, and he's like, "I am such a jerk." All right. The sun goes down good and early, so the stores are still open. Wendy and me go shopping with her money. And so you can see um, the stuff he's buying. I think it's a hacksaw, right? Yeah, this'll do. I'm gonna be needing a dozen 2 foot lengths of rubber tubing and a spool of razor wire and those special gloves that'll let me handle the wire. Beefing up the old home security, huh? Says that guy. And he says, "You shouldn't ought to poke your nose into people's private business," he says. So, stop at the next gas station, but the tank's full. Oh, never mind. And so he's buying, you can see here, um, a gas can here. We better get moving. I think that guy back there recognized me. "You do kind of stand out," she says. "Look who's talking. You're hanging all over the place. You ought to tie up that belt. It isn't fair." She pulls up her belt tight. It doesn't help. Beautiful art. Take Las Virgenes to Lennox and cut through the woods. And she's like, "Whatever you say, Max." She doesn't ask any questions. Class dame. I take my mind off her and crawl back inside myself. It's almost killing time, and I better get sharp. Kevin's faster and better than I am. I've got to use every trick, that I know. I check the list. Rubber tubing, gas, saw, gloves, cuffs, razor wire, hatchet, Gladys, and my mitts. We're close enough. Pull over. And notice how he always keeps the car above so that it's moving. I try to light up a smoke when my hands are too shaky. I don't think she notices. Her eyes are burning holes through me, but still she doesn't ask. She knows I'm the only chance she has. And so he gets I was gonna say he's looking at something, but I forgot that in a Porsche, like a Volkswagen Beetle, the engine's in the back. And so he's getting stuff off the trunk, I guess you could say. "Stay here, keep the engine running. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, get the hell out of here and don't look back." And she says, "Kill him for me, Marv. Kill him good," she says. "I won't let you down, Goldie. I promise." And he walks away. And so it isn't long before I break into a run. I can't help myself. No shaking now. No cold sweat, no doubt. The fear got out for a little while. For a little while there, but now it's crawled back in. Far away, a small cool thing lost in a belly that's full of fire. Even the woods don't scare me anymore because I'm not just one more predator, and I'm bigger and meaner than the rest. And all I've ever been good at is killing, so I might as well enjoy it. And you can see that big smile on his face. And so there he goes. I'm gambling that none of them think I'm dumb enough to come after them, that they told Kevin to sit tight and figured I bugged out of town. Kevin's got to still be here, though. He's got to. And so he's putting in the razor wire here. Even with the gloves on, I've got to be careful with razor wire. I love this stuff. It cuts through meat and bone like they was butter. Wendy had enough money for it, so I thought it was worth trying once I got the idea. I take the gloves off and get the gas ready, and I wait and watch the house. Here we go, heading downstairs to the kitchen, getting himself a midnight snack, and I can guess what kind. And so he sets a fuse in the gas can and chucks it and crashes through the window, but Kevin immediately busts out and boom, it explodes, and you can see Kevin right here. And so he shoots and he's like that, Kevin. And so he's hitting around him but not hitting him, and he keeps shooting, and then Kevin's coming. Come on, boy, don't be scared, he says. Now my most important trick, the cuffs. Come on. Come on now, you son of a bitch. He's almost to the wire. Don't look down, boy. And so Kevin's running, and he jumps over and he says, damn, he's slick. And look at Kevin here. And does he hit him? Yep, he doesn't hit him, but he gets the coat here. And you see he's got the hatchet and he's got one cuff on. And as he gets him again here, and Kevin is like just hitting all these different places, and pretty cool here. Kevin's kind of like a ballet here. Is that the best you can do, creep? And then kicks him in the face, and then hits him in the groin. That's right. Get close and personal. I can take it. That's right. Use your hands. Get close. I can take it. I can take it. And so Kevin is just beating him up to, and Marv holds him. Those damn fingernails, blood in the eyes. That's all right. I don't need my eyes. Wriggling like a snake, stronger than I thought. And finally he gets the cuffs on. Got you, you bastard. Let's see you hop around. And so Kevin still manages to hit, but he's holding him here. Go ahead, I can take it. And blood in my eyes or not, I can find you. Because he's right next to him, of course. And boom! Down he goes. For a while, I tried to slow my heart down and breathe the fire out of my lungs. My muscles make me 1,000 promises of pain to come. It'll be rough morning if I'm alive to see it. The night's all weird and quiet. So quiet, the crickets seem loud. And so here comes Wendy. There's a light, gentle flap of fabric and the light footsteps in the grass. And that's sand. And you can see this is just beautiful. Let me do it, Marv. She was my sister. Let me finish him. And Marv says, you wasn't supposed to come this way, Wendy. You was supposed to stay in the car. And so, and he smacks her. Sorry, kid. I hated doing that. But I haven't even started with this creep, and I don't want Wendy watching the rest. It'd give her nightmares. So he puts her in the car and says a half hour later. So he's sitting with Kevin here. I'll tell you, I am good and bushed, and it wasn't our fight that did me in either. It was all that sawing and tying. It's not as easy as it looks. But if I do say so myself, I think I did a pretty neat job of it. And I thought it's good. It's a good thing I bought all that extra tubing. A lot of them broke when I was fixing the tourniquet. So he cuts his arm out and his legs. I thought it would have been a mess around here if I hadn't had some spare. Still and all, I got to admit there was a spur or two. Hell, I might as well come clean. I wanted a spurt or two to get the scent in the air, to get a friend of yours to come running. And of course, it's the dog or the wolfer. And you know what? Here he comes. Let's see what happens if I loose up one of the tourniquets here. And Kevin is just quiet. And the dog's chomping. And he's like, good dog, good dog. And he's eating at him. And he doesn't scream. Not even at the end. Even when the mutt's had his fill of Kevin's guts are lying all over the place and some of the bastards still alive, still staring at me. Not even when I grab the saw and finish the job. He never screams. Look at that. Cuts his head off. And so, hi Nancy, got any beers? Sure, Marv, who's the babe? On the way back into town, I pull over to a truck stop and use the payphone to put in a call to Caddy's and ask Nancy to get her clothes on and meet me at her place. She says yes, like always. There isn't much of anything Nancy wouldn't do for me. Not since a year back when a frat boy roughed her up and I straightened him out. But good. Maybe I went a little too far, but I was plenty steamed seeing her crying like that. And so she bandages him up here. She pops open an ice-cold long neck. I inhale it. On my second beer, I start filling her in. By my fifth one, she's up to speed. While she's patching me up, Nancy rests my hand on her thigh, but it's soft and warm. But that's none of my business, and it wouldn't bug me like it does if I didn't feel so damned alive. And so Nancy asks, "So, what do you want me to do with her?" And he says, "She'll come around in a few hours. Um, you tell her everything's okay, but she has to haul on out of town. She couldn't get killed. She could get killed if she doesn't. So I'll take her to the airport myself." And so he burps here. "No, that's no good. They might have it watched. Your best bet is to drive her all the way to Sacred Oaks. Put her on a plane there. She'll kick up a fuss, but tell her I said she owes me one. It's not true, but she'll believe it." And so he continues, "She should be okay. There's no way they'll," and then he burps again, or connect her to me. "But anybody who had anything to do with Goldie is bound to catch heat in a big way. So it's better if she's gone when they come calling." And so Nancy asks, "What about you? Are you leaving town?" And he says, "Hell no. I like it here." And then again. So first, I walk 20 blocks west. They'll be following my trail backwards, and I don't want it leading to Nancy. Then I hotwire a parked cab and stay under the speed limit so as to not get any attention. This be a dumb time to get pulled over. The wind is warm on my face and everything's simple and clear. I can't help smiling. So we see this building here, and Marv continues, "The mission. Fortress Rourke is what some people call it, and if you ask me, they aren't wrong. Rourke's been holed up there for years, surrounded by a squad of armed guards, sitting pretty while mayors and senators and governors come hats in hand, begging favors from the mighty St. Patrick." And so you can see Marv looking out here in the car. "I like to blow the whole damn place sky high to wipe it out and leave a crater big enough and deep enough to suck in all the money and lies of all the generations of the Royal Rourke family. But that's just enthusiasm talking. I've got to play this sneaky, and very fast." And so Marv goes running. "This is it, Goldie. Win or lose, it's all over tonight." Guards. Hell, these bums are death squad from a bunch of from the same bunch that killed Lucille, so there's no reason at all to be nice about this. And so this guy checks in, and Marv catches him and breaks his neck. "Sleep tight, Corporal." And so he jumps out, gets this guy here. Oh, just the art is beautiful. Gets this other guy, and then they fall down. A couple of the tiles break. A few more go down without much trouble. Punches this guy through, gets this guy here. He's heading upstairs. Finally, Rourke, Patrick Henry Rourke, and he goes, "Kevin," and Marv says, "Well, kind of," and here he has him. "What's left of him, anyways. The dog ate the rest." And he goes, "Don't scream or I'll plug you," says Marv here as he sits the gun, and look at Kevin's hat here. And Marv says, "I hope you don't mind my saying, but you're one heck of a lot smaller than I thought you'd be. I mean, you are really little." And Rourke is like, "Oh God, you monster. At least I don't go around eating people." And Rourke says, "You don't understand him. You don't know anything about him. You probably think he couldn't talk, don't you? Well, you're wrong about that. He had the voice of an angel, but he spoke only to me, and now he's dead, and all because of one stupid whore." And as he lights up a cigarette, Marv says her name was Goldie, and it's not a real good idea for you to talk about her this way while I'm around. I'll just give you the scoop, the whole story. If you don't, um, sorry, just give me the scoop, the whole story. And if you don't, I'll start with your fingers and you'll talk anyway. And so, um, the priest says, he was just a boy when he first came to me, and I was just a priest. He came to give me a confession. He was a tortured soul, tormented by guilt. But the eating, it filled him with white light, with love for every living thing. Tearful, he swore to me that he felt the touch of God Almighty. At first, I thought he was insane. I tried to counsel him, to control him. But as years passed, Kevin's voice grew richer, deeper, more certain, until it filled me with pleasure just to hear him speak, just to share in his ecstasy. And look at him holding the head. In time, I began to envy him. The voice was no longer enough. I could no longer stand to the side while he touched heaven. And Rourke says, "Don't look at me that way. You just don't know. You just don't know." And Marv says, "I know it's pretty damn weird to eat people." And Rourke yells, "He didn't just eat their bodies, you pig. He ate their souls. He loved them in a way that was absolute and clean and perfect." And Marv figures it out, and you joined in. "Yes, oh yes. Some women were nothing, whores. Nobody missed them. Nobody cared. And then that one girl, Goldie, almost ruined everything." And so Rourke says she must have suspected something after the first few girls. Perhaps she saw one of them getting into my limousine. She followed us. Kevin was engrossed when she found us. She made it to her car and escaped. She stayed in public places, then with you. You were so convenient. Nobody would believe a thug like you. You'd broken man's jaw that same night. Kevin killed her. I ordered the police in for you. But you wouldn't be caught. You wouldn't be stopped. And now Kevin's dead, and you're here to kill me. And so Rourke says, "Will that give you satisfaction, son, my son, killing a helpless old man?" And Marv says, "Killing's no satisfaction, but everything's up until the killing would be a gas. You can scream now if you want to." And so here come the cops here. "It's beautiful, Goldie. It's perfect. Just like I promised, only better." Kevin was damn frustrating, but Rourke's pure joy. "It's not quick or quiet like it was with you. No, it's loud and nasty, my kind of a kill. I stare the bastard in the face, and I scream and I laugh as he screams to God for mercy. And I laugh harder when he squeals like a stuck pig, and when he whimpers like a baby. I'm laughing so hard I cry. He spurts and gurgles, and life is good." But the cops are coming, so... And when his eyes go dead, the hell I send him to must seem like heaven after what I've done to him. And the cops arrive, freeze, and they're like, "Oh my God," and they open fire on him. But not quite dead, because jerks, they should have shot me in the head, and enough times to make sure. A few days later, I claw my way out of a haze of anesthetics. It's up to the doctors for now. The doctors are the real hard workers, the nurses. It's stupid. Everybody knows what's coming, but they go through all the motions anyway. What a waste of time. Months fall off the calendar while I breathe and eat through the tubes. I can't even wash myself or use the toilet like a grown man ought to. Night after night, I wait for somebody to come and finish me off. After a while, I realize it's not going to be so easy. I'm a monkey rich, stuck in a great big machine, and I've caused some damage, and it'll take a good long time for the gears to grind me to powder. And so you can see now that he's been let go and he's being yelled at and tortured here. I'm on my feet for about 10 minutes before the cops kick them from under me. They don't ask me any questions. They just keep knocking the crap out of me, waving a confession in my face. I keep spitting blood all over it and laughing at how many fresh copies come up with. Mostly I don't feel the punishment. I'm far off away watching it all go past like an old movie you already know the end of. Then comes along this wormy assistant district attorney who turns the recorder off and says, if I don't sign their confession, they'll kill my mom. I break his arm in 3 places and sign the confession. From then on, it's the circus everybody wants to be. They nail me for the works, not just the people I did kill, but even Lucille and the girls Rourke and Kevin ate, and even Goldie. And so this is pretty cool here with the DA. The judge is all fire and brimstone when he hands down the sentence. The crowd eats it up. And right now, they're outside waiting, holding a vigil. They call it. They're hollering up and pulling six-packs out of their station wagons and wishing they could watch their lynching up close. They'll have to settle for watching the lights dim. Midnight and my death are only a few hours away when I get my first surprise in 18 months. My only visitor. They got me in a cell about a mile away from the other con so I can hear her heels clicking the cement floor for a long time before she gets here. I'm ready for anything but that scent. And Marv goes, I got them for you good, didn't I, Goldie? I'm sorry, Wendy, I get confused seeing you like this. And she says, it's all right, Marv. You can call me Goldie. And so she smells like angels ought to smell. The perfect woman, the goddess, Goldie. She says her name is Goldie, kind of how it all started. And so we get here. They fix me up a pretty decent steak for my last meal. They even throw in a brew, the first I've had since back at Nancy's. Then they shave my head and fix me with a rubber diaper and get to it. And it's about damn time if you ask me. And so this guy is saying, yea, though I walk through the valley of death. And Marv is like, could you get a move on? I haven't got all night. And so this guy says, you heard the man hit it. That's not how it works. You do it at a certain time, but that's all right. And they pull it, and this is just... And he's still alive, and so they do it again. And boom. He's gone. The end. And so we're going to look at real quick here. Sorry. It was funny. This little quote from Frank Miller here. This one ran away with itself. I planned it as a 48 pages, but I got carried away, and it's all Mars' fault. The big love started bossing me around. It's like that sometimes. The pages you're looking at right now feature some of the cover simplicity pieces I drew in the course of Sin City's 13-month run in Dark Horse Comics Presents. And so... pretty cool. When this stuff came out, it was just so incredible. Tim Sale, rest in peace, man, from The Long Halloween and the color books from Marvel. Thought he was imitating him, but that's just his style. But he doesn't quite do it the way Frank Miller does it, because I don't think this is some pinups that were included throughout the time here. But what Tim Sale didn't really draw for black and white the way Miller meant the stuff to be black and white. So I think Tim Sale always knew his stuff was going to get colored. So Klaus Janson here. Look at that. That's so cool. That's a cool one. That is so badass. Oh, there it is. So, all right. And so we have Sin City. The oh my God, the it's The Hard Goodbye. So it's the volume 1 of the Sin City. This is the stuff that started it all. So written and drawn by Frank Miller. It's absolutely beautiful. I hope you stuck around for this. Absolutely beautiful. So for those of you that think I hate Frank Miller, please know that I love him. So like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.